when you look at the deficits, like what are we 38 trillion right now? Is that the number?
We'll get it.
Let's just say 38 trillion.
Sure.
So if we're I want to think we're 125% based
38. Yeah. Go ahead.
based to what's it 38, right?
38.
Okay, so 38. So we're 125% above GDP. China is at 31, maybe 29, which puts them at like 94% of GDP. Japan, which is like 8 or 9 trillion, is like 230% of GDP. So when you go and you look at the numbers that some of these countries have, it may only be 10 trillion in debt, but their GDP is fucking 2 trillion. So they're 500%, 500%
Mm-hmm.
fucking. So when you look at the whole fucking system,
The
and
relationship, the ratio between the
yeah,
two.
and it's already like I haven't seen anything where people are talking openly about BRICS is doing huge business between themselves and not using U.S. dollars. Brazil just did a huge with China. They did something, uh, and they're not using U.S. dollars. And it got and we came very close to. I mean, we're so fractured with the EU right now. And the craziest thing of all that, if you look back and you go back to, I want to think the guy's name was Lawrence, but after World War II, Lawrence signed some kind of fucking. It ended up being voided. He was a Danish cat that signed off some kind of basic rights to Greenland. And but once NATO was founded, we basically came to the agreement that we would have the ability to put a military base uh, in Greenland, and more than one. I mean, to help secure it as part of NATO, and that agreement was binding as long as NATO was binding. So as long as we had NATO, we had an agreement. So
Which would still
everything
be
that
in
we
place.
just yeah, everything that we just went through was fucking mute because it we already had the agreement. So to sit there and watch Trump uh, talk to was talking to somebody yesterday, and he said, "Well, what exactly agreements do you have with Denmark?" And he goes, "Well, right now we have concepts
Mm.
of an agreement." I'm thinking, wasn't that in the Kamala Harris? Wasn't that the fucking? Didn't they have concepts
They
on
had
health
concepts
and
on
health
health
care?
care. Yeah,
Right.
they still have all the empty binders.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's the old concepts.
Well, that plan's been coming since 2016. It's only been 10 years. I mean, it's, you know.
So it's just like both sides fucking blow. I mean, just horribly. Both sides are shit. You know, it's two fucking horrible restaurants. They both fucking 93% of the food comes out with the pubic hair in it. They've got a 71 fucking health code fucking on the wall, and it's like, come on, guys. Like, let's stop pointing fingers. Let's stop acting like one side's better than the other. We're all number one. It's if you don't realize that the fucking we're gonna do business in Greenland once we get this concept worked out. In the meantime, the venture capitalists have been there since 2019, fucking taking fucking minerals and everything else out.
All the players, yeah.
Yeah, all the fucking Gates, fucking
Yeah, that's right, Gates.
Bezos, fucking Bloomberg. All the venture capitals are in there taking strip mining the fuck out of Greenland. But let's on the world.
The
Fuck,
only we're due for either Republican or Democrat, whoever's going to take this spot in 3 years. We're due for somebody who is a decent, moral human being with a lifetime of service. That's my requirement. That's it. Those are the two boxes you need to check
but
for me to listen.
service of what?
Anybody but yourself. Show me a soldier, show me a police officer, show me someone who was a sitting senator for 25 years, show me someone who's a mayor.
I don't want somebody that's from the Beltway.
You know why you need it, Kevin? Because of this. Because the system, who was it? James Carville said something brilliant, The Raging Cajun. In one of his books, he was talking about Obama. And when Obama ran on the slogan change, he said, I knew he was going to be in trouble in Washington because Washington's never going to change. He said Bill Clinton was brilliant because he learned Washington and said, I'm going to figure out how to get what I need. He played the game. He played the people he had to play. I'm saying play. I don't mean trick. I mean he did what he had to do to line up what he needed to do to run the country.
Right.
When you come in and say, "Oh, we're gonna blow up the whole system here and change everything," well, you have a little bit of what we have now, which is chaos, destruction, no economy. The dollar's dog shit. Our image around the world is horrendous. Washington isn't working well. You've got people completely unqualified in positions who sound like idiots when they're questioned. It's ridiculous, and because there is a system in place, there's a structure. And you've got to learn to work within the structure. You can bend some of the walls and bend some of the steel and the fiber, but you're not going to change it. You got to know the system a little.
So
if you're a CEO, listen, if you're going to be a CEO of a medical company, I'd like to know that you know a little bit about medicine and you've worked in medicine.
Right. But if you're a CEO in the medical business and you're Rick Scott and your claim to fame is basically one of the biggest Medicare fraud schemes of all time, and now you're a senator. I mean,
that doesn't mean he's going to be president.
No, it doesn't mean he's going to be president, but he's already fucking well ingrained in the Senate. In what the fourth largest fucking state?
But he has experience. Not a fan, mind you, but he's got experience listening to a constituency and bringing the demands of his people to Washington for laws, for policy. He knows how that works. That's just me.
Yeah. I really think that we need somebody that's more, and not Ross Perot, but somebody that's because
an outsider, no pun intended.
No, I mean, but if you look at it, like who's running the world? Is it not 10 people?
Yeah. 10
so unless you get one of those 10 people, I mean, anybody else is going to, unless you get one of those 10, anybody else below them is just a fucking marionette.
Yeah, it's true. There's some truth to that.
So
on this topic, some feedback from last week. Daniel Carter said, I think both political parties' leaders need to be arrested and questioned. We need a whole new system. What happened on J6 was complete garbage. They should never have been pardoned. What happened with Renee Good was terrible. However, the Minnesota governor and mayor of Minneapolis, there's a lot of fraud going on there. That stuff is real. There's a lot of shadiness. It's time to arrest people, time to hold politicians accountable. Well, there's a concept. We'll see, Daniel. Who's accountable for what and what happens? JD Gen X77. If you're too far left or right, you're an idiot. And part of the issue, I don't want ICE killing people or teachers teaching kids they can be a boy or girl when they grow up. I watch this mostly to hear about wrestling. If you're going to do politics, at least play devil's advocate. Well, if you listen, then you should have known. We called out the gender stuff being extreme. Many times we've talked about that.
Nobody wants men in combat sports with a gentrification fighting women. Like, we don't want that.
But it's also not as bad as it's made out to be by the media who take it and run with it. I don't know, JD. If you're looking at red media, trust me that no teacher in any public school is allowed by law to counsel on anything medical anywhere. Doesn't happen. So don't believe that they're sitting there telling them to go get their penises chopped off. That doesn't happen. However, I think what does happen and is acceptable is to teach children that people are different and may be different than them, and they may encounter people that are different than them at their age, at an older age, and tolerance and communication and respect should be adhered to, and they're entitled to the freedoms that everybody in that classroom has. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a lot of Republicans that are scared when the word transgender or whatever comes up. They're terrified of the concept, but we're in the real world, and there's nothing wrong with letting kids know that happens.
Yeah. I think that I just don't. If you have a child that is transitioning, I think that any parent is when that child comes to them is going to be as supportive as possible if that's what they want. So I just don't think that there's indoctrination of people.
No, there's a secret cabal that you can
Yeah.
convince somebody
Well,
to become another sex if it's not in them already. How the
It's
fuck do you do
actually
that?
anytime you go to that the pizza place in Washington and ask for anchovies. Just go down to the basement. You can get the sex change.
You got to drink the blood first.
Mm.
I was having a impassioned debate about that with my daughter, who's now 20, when she was like, 15, 16 in high school and kind of wanting to always take the other side, opposed from the old folk in the home. And, I'm kind of putting my foot down and saying things that I hear sometimes today, like it's either male or female. When you're born, something's put on your birth certificate. That's all I'm saying, Mia. And so my wife's sitting there quietly and she's Googling stuff on the couch while me and Mia are arguing. I say, right? And she says, well, New England Journal of Medicine now says that sex is given upon birth, but gender is something that's subscribed to later on based on you. I said, well, fuck this. So you had to go to the New England Journal. So, the medical journals are, I guess, updating and indicating that while sex is given and determined at birth, gender is a lifestyle choice. Just letting you know. You don't have to agree with me, but that's how it is in the medical community now.